Welcome to another Tired Sandwich Final Thought. We are going to talk about Avowed, the new game by Obsidian and Xbox Games. This game was so much fun. Now, I get a lot of people didn't like it, and for valid reasons. The game is definitely not one that is going to set your world on fire. It's not one that's going to, you know, it's not one that you're going to look at and be like, oh, this is the best news thing that I've ever seen. But is it fun? Absolutely. I enjoyed the heck out of this game. The adventure, the exploration, the combat, especially. If there's one thing that I can say about this game, it's that the combat should be brought over to every first person fantasy fighting game. Even the guns in it were amazing because I used guns, two pistols, and a rifle. And at first, I thought that they were weak because I personally didn't know how to use them. And then eventually, I found out that I could hold down the power button on them and they shot in slow motion and shot a giant blast. It was awesome. I was kicking things' asses left and right. Ugh, I love it. Like, towards the end of the game, I was just like basically like a gunslinger walking into a town, just bam, 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 dead, dead. It was awesome. So, I love the characters in this game. The four characters that you get that are your main companions are Kai, a Rauatai, a dwarf named Marius, a human named Giada, and I don't remember what Yatsley is. I don't remember what kind of creature, but Yatsley, who is a basically a wizard. You have four different areas that you go through and explore in this game. There is Dawnshore, there is Emerald Stair, there is Scatter. Oh my gosh, why did I forget? The town's name is Dirtborn. And there is Solace. So the whole point of this game is kind of you're there to find out what this dream scourge is. All the while, you are exploring and finding out more about your own past because you are what is called a godlike. And a godlike usually has a god that it is from, but you have lived your whole life not knowing what god is yours. So throughout the game, you hear a voice from a entity that eventually you find out its name is Sapadal. Sapadal is your god for the godlike. And as you get to know them better, you get to make the choice whether you want to say, forget you, I'm going to kill everything that you stand for and join the whatever evil side, or you can choose Sapadel and help them. Sapadel, throughout the entire story, was very much like a child. You are deciding things, main consequences, and explaining to Sophido why they're bad or good, and that includes when you find memories that are of your past, and you get to explain like what happened in this memory, and that influences what Sophido thinks later on in the game. The other characters are important too. They help you out a lot. Kai, who is one of your main cohorts. You get him at the very beginning, and he is voiced by the voice actor who does Garrus in Mass Effect. So that was really fucking cool. You get Marius, who is a dwarf, who is kind of a ranger slash like survivalist. He's always in kind of a bad mood, but he has a really big heart, and he's one of my favorites. He was a really good character. Then you get Giada, who is an animancer who kind of looks into people's souls and like helps in that way. She has a rod that's supposed to help control nature through animancy. And she's, her and Yachtley don't really have like a big character arc like Kai and Marius do. So it was weird that they kind of cut that out. Now, the four of you will eventually get together and you're going to be fighting versus the evil that is the Steel Garrote, or you're going to join the Steel Garrote. Personally, I fought versus Steel Garrote and their leader, who I did not like, and I refused to do anything that she wanted me to. Now that created a problem because um, it ended up that some of the decisions I made were not always for the best of the people, but it was the best I could come up with at the time. Like at one point in the game, you have to decide either cut off the Dream Scourge from a certain area, but it's going to kill people randomly, or you can side with her and destroy a ruin um, in and the Dream Scourge. You don't know what will happen, but it will still keep going. Uh, so let's talk a little bit about Steel Garrote. Steel Garrote are paladins for Wodica. She is not very nice. That's that's the main thing that I will say. And they are pretty hardcore people. They believe that everything should be managed by, power, and like you got to kill the things that don't agree with you, basically is what it seems like. And they are working for Adir, which is who you came from. You are an envoy for the Emperor of Adir. And so like you're kind of like with them but not with them, and in the end you ultimately get to decide who you want to join. Is this game like the best game of the year? No, it's not. I gotta be honest, there are things that are wrong with this game, there's a lot that's good with it, but it's not going to be game of the year for you. If you like the Outer Worlds, then you will most likely like this game. The combat of it, as I said before, is amazing. I would definitely tell people to play it if you're into games like this, but it's not going to be for everybody. It's a very like you really have to like this kind of action RPG to want to play it. But I think if you do, you'll have a blast. I'm not gonna give it a score for the game. If you have Xbox Game Pass, play it. It's on there. There's no reason why you shouldn't. It's worth a look at. But man, the world was beautiful. The combat, like I said, was the best part about this game. It was literally a 10 out of 10 for the combat. I will give that a score. The combat is 10 out of 10. Best combat I've seen in a um, action role playing game that has combat in first person. So, but yeah, so that's why I think of this game. Try it out if you want. In the end of the game, oh yeah, I guess I should say how it ends. So, um, in the end of the game, you get to make a choice. You can free Sopado, the goddess of the living lands, or god. I don't know if it's goddess or god. It just may be a god of the living lands. It's hard to tell with Wodica and them. Um, so Sopado, you get a chance to release them after finding out that they were basically imprisoned by the other gods because they were afraid of Sopadel's power, because Sopadel was a new god and didn't know that they were causing harm because they were basically a baby, which comes into play with me at the beginning thinking, okay, this seems like a child talking to you asking for like what it should do. So I made the choice of freeing Sopadel, and then the rest of my existence, I guess, or my character as the envoy, Sopadel would come to him and ask questions when they were confused. I think I made the right decision. It was a beautiful ending, though the actual like ending was quick. You kill the leader of the Steel Garrote, and then it just ends. And then they do like, okay, this person went here, this person went there, and so that was a little abrupt, but I still think the game was a lot of fun, and the last battle was a lot of fun. And And I'm looking forward to if they do more games like this because I think Obsidian is a great maker of story games and I love pretty much all their story games. So, thank you Obsidian. Thank you guys for listening to my rant or not rant, but like unintelligible words about this game. And yeah, as always, bear hug. Come on. Let's go on an adventure.